Take a look at some news from around the QMJHL, and the news tends to add up when we have time between games, and some items regarding the Cape Breton Eagles, including a trade yesterday. Eagles acquiring 19-year-old forward Charles-Antoine Lavalier from the Baie-Comeau Drakkar. He will remain with the Amherst Ramblers, where he's playing now. He's playing Junior A. He has 6 points in 5 games as a 19-year-old forward. Eagles send an 11th-round pick in 2024 to Baie-Comeau. Last year, Lavalier had 28 points in 66 games, split between Gatineau and Baie-Comeau. So obviously, when he was playing in Gatineau, he was playing under Louis Robitaille. We're going to be joined by Sylvain Couturier at the second intermission. We'll see if we can get some more insight onto this deal and if we might see Lavalier down the line. You may have seen this on social media. The Q announced its team of the week for this past week, and there is a Cape Breton Eagle. In fact, the Cape Breton Eagle on the team was the player of the week, and that is Eagles forward Cole Burbage. 18-year-old had 5 points in 2 games over the weekend. There's a moosehead there as well, as Lou Levesque, the 17-year-old rookie, had 5 points in 2 games also. The other forward is 20-year-old Israel Mianscom of the Sherbrooke Phoenix. He had 5 points in 2 games as well. The defenseman this week, 19-year-old Thomas Sabuka of the Val-d'Or Foreur, had 5 points in 2 games as well. And the other defenseman breaking the stat line is 19-year-old defenseman Benjamin Vigneault from Victoriaville. He had a good week, though. He had 3 points in 2 games. Goaltender of the week, as we talked about earlier in the pregame show, Halifax's Mathis Russo, a record of 2-0, a save percentage of .970 with a goals against of 1. Pretty big news league-wide coming down this week. The Q knows its applicants for the 2025 Memorial Cup. They will be Rimouski and Shawinigan. It's interesting that the Moncton Wildcats had issued a press release earlier in the week that they would not be going forward with a bid, and it was talked about how the province of Quebec had not hosted the tournament since 2015. The last 2 events had been held in Halifax in 2019 and St. John in 2022. Well, it is going to be 2 Quebec cities that they are going to be choosing between. Rimouski held the Memorial Cup in 2009. Shawinigan held the Memorial Cup in 2012. The Cataracts won that Memorial Cup that they hosted. A couple of news items regarding reassignments to QMJHL rosters. Noah Warren is on his way to Victoriaville. He was a big off-season acquisition from the Gatineau Olympique. The 19-year-old blue liner is a second-round draft pick of the Anaheim Ducks. Last year he had 20 points in 47 games. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to Noah before Sunday's game when Victoriaville visits Cape Breton. Mateo Mann has been reassigned to St. John by the Philadelphia Flyers, and just like Noah Warren, his Q rights were traded in the offseason from Chicoutimi to St. John. However, unlike Noah Warren, he's not going to be able to jump into the lineup right away because he's injured. Last year, he had 5 assists in 45 games with Chicoutimi. He was chosen by the Flyers in the 7th round of the 2023 draft. He was in his 18-year-old season last year. He's a late birthday. This year will be his 19-year-old season. Taking a look at the CHL top 10 for the week, the London Knights hold the number 1 position. 3 teams in the Q are ranked. Rouyn-Noranda comes in at number 3, Halifax number 6, and Val-d'Or number 7. And rankings are a little bit interesting at this time of year because it's partially based on preseason expectation and partially based on what we've seen on the ice so far. Trio of suspensions to tell you about. 18-year-old defenseman Thomas Hebert from Shawinigan has been given a 2-game ban for boarding. He's already served 1 game thus far. He had 10 points in 46 games last year. Lane Hinckley, a player with Cape Breton ties, was given a game for instigating. The 19-year-old blue liner, now playing with Charlottetown, was with Drummondville last year where he had 7 points in 54 games. And the other suspension to tell you about is rookie defenseman Justin Blais of Gatineau. The 16-year-old blue liner was given 2 games for instigating. He's already served 1 game. Again, he's in his rookie season.